Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This time I'll be showing you how you can complete the Criminal Mastermind challenge for the Doomsday Heist. Where you need to do it with 2 players, 3 players and 4 players in order to get the Mastermind's trophy and achievement. Now first of all, you need to decide which facility you need to buy, and the best one to get is the Ground Snow Desert facility. Like, even though it's the most expensive one, it is worth it in the long run. Like, you don't want to get the one in Pleater Bay, for example. This is the one in Pleater Bay. You definitely want to avoid this one, as trying to do all the freeway missions is like really annoying with that facility. Also, make sure you avoid this one as well near the city, as the path to get to it is a nightmare, as it's all off-road, and trying to deliver the Chernobog there, for example, is a nightmare. So you definitely want to get this facility here, as it's really close to all the finales, which will make the elite challenges a lot easier as well. Once you have your facility, you're ready to get started. So once you have your facility, you need to buy the Data Breaches Heist, which is the first one. Now while doing this, there are 3 types of missions. There are prep missions, setup missions and finales. Now the missions on the left are prep missions, and the ones on the right are setup missions. It doesn't matter if you die or not in the prep missions, which is basically the freeway missions, but you can only do in a public session. Now the first one you have to do is where you got to steal an ambulance. Instead of going to the hospital, you simply just want to phone the ambulance on your phone and wait for it to drive to you. Also, it doesn't matter if you partially complete the mission. Like, for example, when you do the Deluxos or the Stromberg mission, where you have to deliver 4 Deluxos and 4 Strombergs. Like, if you deliver 3, for example, and one of them gets blown up by a barcode player, especially on PlayStation 5, there's loads of barcode players, but anyway, like if one of them gets blown up during the mission in free roam, you don't need to quit. You simply just have to redo the mission again, and it will say like 1 vehicle remaining when you start the mission. So that's another thing to keep in mind, as we got griefed a few times when doing this in public free roam on PlayStation. There's definitely a lot more griefers on PlayStation compared to Xbox, but anyway. Okay, now that's the first mission done. Now the second mission is a Deluxo mission. In this mission, you basically just need to go to the house where it tells you to go and defeat all the enemies that are inside and steal the Deluxo. Also, another good thing to have is the Kasatka and the Sparrow upgrade. Reason means that it's really good, as you can spawn it from the interaction menu, and you can like fly there really fast instead of having to drive there normally, for example. So when you get to the house, you simply just want to destroy the enemies that you can see and steal the Deluxo and drive to Ellis Customs. Decided to cut out the flying there, as I didn't want to waste your time, as it takes quite a while going to and from the facility. So once you have your Deluxo, you want to drive to Ellis Customs and drive it back to the facility. Once you've done the Deluxos, the next freeway mission is for one of the Akula. And to make this one go really fast, you want to have one person go to Fort Zancudo, and the other players go to the city, as the Akula will spawn somewhere in the city. It's totally random where it spawns. There's a few different locations where it will spawn. So the people going to Fort Zancudo want to go upstairs and hack the computer with their phone. I kind of have a fly in here just to save some time on these missions. Don't want to drag it too long. So when you get to Fort Zancudo, you want to use the elevator instead of going up the stairs, as it'll take ages otherwise. So you want to go in the elevator, it's just by here. This will save you a lot of time rather than going up the stairs, but anyway. So when you get out of the elevator, you want to go up these stairs here. And when you get to the top, you want to hack the computer. Speed up the hacking here, just to speed it up a little bit. And once you've done the hacking, all you have to do is just steal the Akula and fly it back to the facility. And that'll be all the prep missions done for Act 1. So once you finish this off, you want to go into an invite only session for the setup missions, just so it's like all more organised.
You've got the chopper. Okay, bring it to the facility. If you thought breaking into a military base and taking a few $1 million worth of helicopter off some government contractors was fun, wait until you steal data off the National Office of Security Enforcement. Oh, the joys that await.
So once you've done the prep missions, this is the first set of missions. So for these next few missions and the finale, if you die in the mission, you have to quit really fast to save your progress. Like if you die, you'll briefly see like a message saying, "Oh, your progress has been reset." Like you definitely want to make sure you close the game as fast as possible, as you can save your progress. Like the only time this doesn't work is if you're inside your personal vehicle and it gets blown up. Reason it doesn't work in that scenario is because when your vehicle gets blown up, the game gets saved straight away. So make sure you know, in your vehicle when you die, for example. Okay, now for this mission there are two teams. There's the Paramedic and the recovery team. All the recovery team has to do basically is just drive to where we gotta go and steal the Salvage and kill a bunch of enemies. If you're on that team, I definitely recommend using the Armoured Courier. It's a great vehicle to have when doing the Criminal Mastermind challenge. And it's good for the original heist as well, if you still need to do that. So I haven't finished those yet on the PlayStation version. Okay, now for the Paramedic team, I'm going to cover driving out here as it takes quite a while to drive to the hospital in the ambulance. So when you get to the hospital, I definitely recommend you going in first person mode, for the first bit at least, when you're walking around, as it's easier to like navigate the hospital, I find, in first person. Trying to like navigate buildings in third person in this game is so clunky. But anyway, so when you go inside, you want to switch to first person mode. Also, make sure you don't walk into anyone, as if you do, the police will know you're there. So you can do this first bit in stealth up until you go upstairs. So make sure you do that just to make things easier. And you want to loot the bodies here. Once you loot the bodies, you want to make your way upstairs.
Search those bodies until you find that data. Dig deep, people. It's in there somewhere. Not what we're looking for. Find that memory stick. They've searched the bodies. The stick's not there. Fuck me. They harvested it. Is a dead agent's anus not sacred anymore? Okay, wow. While we all think about that, just head upstairs. With any luck, the files will be on a laptop up there. If they found the data, the Bureau might be jumpy. Treat any security with extreme caution. The floor above you is restricted. They will shoot on sight up there, and who knows what else.
So once you made your way upstairs, you want to start taking up enemies. Like a great weapon to have is the assault shotgun with the extended mags attachment. That's really good for this building. So when you take up enemies, you want to hack the laptop. You don't need to do anything when hacking the laptop, as it does it all for you. It's just briefly a cutscene, really. That's all it is, really. Don't need to press any buttons or anything. So once you've done the hacking, you need to make your way back downstairs. At first, I normally stay in first person when I do this, so I find it way easier than third person. Especially with the assault shotgun, as it just destroys all the enemies, basically. It's really good for the assault shotgun. Also, when doing the Criminal Mastermind challenge, you don't need to be level 100, as I started doing this when I was like level 50 on the PlayStation. 5 version. So I didn't really want to grind all the way to level 100. It's really not necessary to get to level 100 to do this. Cause I was doing it on the Xbox last year, helping some friends out, and they were only like level 20 when they first started, so it definitely is doable to do this like a low level, like level 50, 60 for example. No one sort of enemies are dealt with. You can wait inside the hospital if the Salvage team still haven't got the Salvage helicopter yet. You can do that if you need to. But we decided to go outside. So when you go outside, there'll be some more enemies that spawn. There'll be a bunch of helicopters and some police cars, so make sure you get rid of them. Once the area is clear, you want to board a helicopter and fly to the end of the mission, basically.
Chopper team, find the landing location and regroup with the paramedics.
Okay, now the next mission is the one with Deluxos, where we've got to blow up 4 armoured trucks and 4 boats. So you just want to drive to the place where the Deluxos are. I'll skip over driving just to save time. So when you get to the place where you park the Deluxos, you want to pick a Deluxo. It can be any Deluxo you want. I normally just go with the colour you pick when you take it to LS Customs, but anyway. So the first part involves you destroying 4 armoured trucks. Now the best way to hack an armoured truck is to make sure you're at the front left side of the truck. Means that you'll be on the driver's side, so there won't be anyone shooting you from there. Also, you don't want to stay behind the truck, as there's people in the back who will shoot you. And they'll get you pretty quickly if you're not too careful. So you just want to drive to the truck. I have trucks spawn in different locations around the map. Make sure you pick a truck in your group. so that only one person goes after one truck, just to save time. Also, if you're doing this in 2-player and 3-player, you still got to hack 4 trucks, so that'll take a bit longer in those playthroughs. So when you get to the truck, you simply just want to bring out your phone and do the secure serve app, and basically you just want to do it like this, where you just want to stay in front of the truck. You want to like maintain the same speed as the truck, just so it doesn't get ahead of you or behind you, for example. So you want to wait until the hack's completed. Then once it's completed, you can blow up the truck with the missiles. There we go, that's the hack done just like that. Very little risk doing it that way, apart from my driving there. So yeah, once you've done the hack, you can blow a truck just like that. You want to do the same process for all the different trucks around the map, and then you need to hack 4 boats. Once you've hacked the 4 different trucks sort of around the map, you want to wait until everyone tells you about the hover module on the Deluxo. And this basically means that you can like drive a Deluxo on water by pressing the X button or A button where you go in hover mode. Like you want to wait until he tells you about that, otherwise if you drive in the water, the Deluxo will just get destroyed. But you do not need to quit if the Deluxo gets stuck in the water as you haven't died. So okay, now for hacking the boats, there are 4 boats around the map. I find the boats a lot easier to hack than the vehicles, as you can pretty much just stay quite far away from the boats. Like I tend to stay on the edge of the yellow circle on the mini map and just try and like circle around, and that's what I find that helps a lot. That's the first boat hacked. I decided to hack for 2 boats that are in the south side of Los Santos. We have 2 boats on like the west side of Los Santos, so you want to go over there as well and hack them. So now we're hacking the second boat again. We're going to do the same as before. Stay towards the edge of the circle on the radar, and you'll have done the hack, no problem. Once you've done the hacking for the boats, you need to make your way to the airport. If you're doing the hacking in the dock area, which is where we are now, I'll show you a cool shortcut which will save you quite a bit of time. As the boats that are on the other side of the map are closer to the airport compared to where we are, so it would definitely save you a lot of time. I decided to speed this driving up just to save time, as the driving is quite slow in the water compared to driving on land. The top speed isn't that good. Okay, now so when you get here, like I got quite a bad angle when going over this ramp, but you want to try and hit this dead on. Try not flip like I do here, as there's a risk of your Deluxo catching fire if you flip it over. It never happens. You do not need to quit either, as the mission will just fail before you die. So once you get over the ramp, you want to make your way to the airport, and the speed is better as it's just driving to the airport basically and waiting for the other players. I was playing with a great team when doing the Mastermind challenge with 4 players, so it's all good. Okay, now once everyone's at the airport, you want to start hacking the airplane. Like only one person needs to stay near the airplane. The other players can stay back and destroy the helicopters that spawn. So I decided to speed this up just to save time, just to briefly go over the helicopters. Okay, now when the helicopters spawn, you want to use your missiles on them. And each helicopter will take 2 missiles to blow up, so make sure you get rid of them. Also, another handy tip is that if the helicopters are beneath you, you can like press X or A on the controller to like go out of fly mode briefly. Then while you're falling, you can like press X again, A again to re-engage fly mode on the Deluxo. That's another handy tip I think for doing this section. So yeah, just make sure you hack the airplane. Once you've hacked the airplane, just drive to the end of the mission.
Job well done, folks.
But the next mission is the mission where we've got to go to a server farm and hack the 4 different servers that are inside. Okay, now the first bit, you simply just need to fly to the building where you got to go. I'll cut out the flying here just to save time. When you land, you want to stealth kill all the enemies that are outside, like all the ones that are in your way at least. You don't need to really kill all of them, you can skip a few of them if you want. Also, make sure your weapons have suppressors on them, because if they don't, you will alert the guards and you'll fail the mission. But you do not need to quit, as it will just say you've alerted a security guard. This is exactly the same. It's that mission for Humane Labs where you've got to bring that EMP vehicle into the Humane Labs. Exactly the same. Okay, so you'll make your way downstairs just like this with a ladder. And start taking out the enemies. Like there's one guard that's over here. You don't have to take him out if you don't want to, but I take him out anyway, just to be safe. It's better to be safe than sorry when doing stealth. Especially stealth in this game, as it's definitely not as good as other stealth games. Like Assassin's Creed, for example. But anyway, so you want to take out the guard there and the camera, and just past this will be another guard, and then just after that will be 2 more guards here. And just past this bit here, past this blue container will be 2 more guards here, so make sure you get them. And after this you'll have a brief cutscene where there'll be a guard who will carry a key card. So you want to get it off him after the cutscene's finished. There we go. So after the cutscene you want to get these guys here just like that. And loot one of them to get the key card. Just after this there'll be a few more cameras and guards we have to take out, and you'll be able to go inside the facility.
The server farm to the main doors. Go around the side of the facility to find the entrance.
So once you make your way inside the facility, it's best to do as much of it in stealth as possible. Means that when the police know you're here, there's just loads of them inside the building, and it's quite hard to see them sometimes as this big room, just all close quarters, and it's dark in here as well. Okay, now the first guard would be directly in front of you from the elevator, and the second guard would be above it, and the third guard would be walking down this corridor. Now as a group you want to go to the servers together as a team, just in case things go haywire or whatever. And while you're doing this, you want to go into stealth mode by clicking the left analog stick. But you don't want to run, because otherwise the guards will hear you, and then they'll alert the news you're there, and it'll be a lot harder, I think, to do this part of the mission. It's best to do this bit in stealth at first, because there's like no police at all until you've hacked the 3rd server. And while you're hacking the 3rd server, if you know where the node on the right goes, wait until the 4th guy hacking the 4th server knows how to complete their puzzle, and that way you can both do it at the same time, so there's less risk of dying. Also for the hacking, it's basically a guessing game really of where the nodes on the left go on the right side. It's just a guessing game really. So you want to stay as a team and hack for servers. And when you've done one side of the room, you want to go to the other side. Like, you can run back to the middle to speed things up. Once you get back to the middle where the stairs are, you want to go back in stealth mode again, just so you can sneak up on the guards and start hacking the other side.
Results, people. Deliver. I need 3 more servers. 2 servers left. Get hacking, come on. To circumvent the firewall, I'm going to need you to connect the nodes from our array to theirs. Connect the compatible nodes, data starts flowing. Connect incompatible nodes, it triggers an alert. Too many alerts, the server shuts down and the data is locked. Got that? Good. Get to work. Well, news agents know you're there and they're entering the server farm, so it sounds like they know you're there. Get those servers hacked as quickly as you can.
So once you've hacked the servers, I recommend going to the right side. And this is because by now all the police will know you're there, so there'll be loads of them in this room. And the right side is good because it's quite safe from the enemies. Like, they take quite a while to get to you, and they tend to come at you one by one because it's all close quarters. So you want to keep on running on the right side until you get to the middle where you can see like the stairs and the lift. And you want to hold out here and try and clear out a decent amount of enemies as they're all over the place. Also, there are some enemies that are like standing by the elevator at the top bit upstairs, so make sure you get rid of them as well. Also, a good weapon to have here is the Combat MG. Unfortunately, you gotta be level 80 for it. However, if you've got the MOC weapon station upgrade station, you can buy weapons early, so you don't need to be the actual level. And if you've done the bunker research, you can get the Mark II attachments for the weapons. I decided to get over Mark II attachments with the bunker research just so it helps out in the long run. Yeah, the Combat MV is definitely the best weapon by far to use when doing Doomsday Heist. And the assault shotgun as well. It's pretty good as well for close quarters. But anyway, so you want to stay here as a team, take out all the enemies so you can see. Once you've taken out a good amount, you want to head upstairs. Also, I recommend that you have 2 people cover the front, 2 people cover the back. Just so you don't get like flanked by any enemies, for example. And when you got a good window, you want to make your way upstairs. Just like we're about to do here. So slowly mopping up these enemies here. There we go. And after this, we'll go outside again. But the outside bit is really easy, as we'll just run past the enemies for a little bit until we get to a safe area. So we're now going upstairs, which is good. Definitely a good run this was. Really good. So yeah, that's where the 2 guards are. They'll be on that like bridge bit, just before the elevator. So you make sure you get rid of them. Also, the glass is bulletproof as well, so you have to get him with a headshot. Okay, after this brief cutscene. So when you spawn outside, you want to run to the left straight away. Do not go right, just run past the enemies. There will be a few enemies that spawn in front of you, so make sure you get rid of them quickly as possible. There'll be 2 enemies there, and 2 more will spawn just past there as well. Now after this, you want to take out the remaining enemies from this area, and the helicopters as well. A good weapon to have is the Widowmaker. This costs about like $400,000 I think from ammunition, and you can buy this at any level. You don't need to be level 120, unlike the minigun. Also, to get 9,000 bullets with every weapon, you have to get like your weapon stat all the way up. And the best way to do, I think, is just to get a tank from Fort Sankuda with a friend and just let them shoot the tank. Because I was doing the bunker resupply mission. I had to steal like a Juggernaut outfit from Fort Sankuda when doing my bunker resupply. And I ended up just shooting the tank for like 5 minutes, and I got my shooting accuracy all the way up to 100%. But anyway, so you want to take out the enemies just like this. Also, another good weapon to have if you don't have the Widowmaker is the Homing Launcher. Again, you can buy that at level 1 as well. That's another good weapon to have, as it's good for destroying helicopters as well. So once you take out the enemies, you want to go back up the ladder and fly away in Akula to the end of the mission. Okay, now the next mission is the Act 1 finale. And in this run we managed to do the Elite Challenge. We have to complete it in 5.5 minutes, get 78 kills and no one get wasted. It definitely is doable to do all the Elite challenges on hard while doing the Criminal Mastermind in 4-player. It's a bit difficult to do it in 2-player, I think, as there's just too many enemies to deal with for 2 players. But anyway, so this is why you want the Grand Snow Desert facility, because it's literally right next to the Act 1 finale. Now you want to get in a crewmer, just drive to the place and take out the enemies outside from inside the crewmer. So there'll be like 3 or 4 enemies outside, so make sure you get rid of them as fast as possible. As the timer starts when you take control of your character, so we're already like 30 seconds or so in. So once you deal with the last enemy, you'll be teleported into a cutscene. Now the next bit can be quite tricky because there's loads of enemies inside the facility. Like this facility is basically a replica of your own facility, but with like an extra floor in it, if that makes sense. Also, to make sure you take your time on this bit, I recommend staying to the left side in this corner here. That's quite good at taking out the enemies. Got good cover here if you need it. Also, sometimes the enemies have like a rapid fire glitch where they just fire incredibly fast and you just can't do anything at all and you just destroy you straight away. If that happens, make sure you close the application as fast as possible just to be safe. Already making good progress through this room, which is good. Also, I find that knocking the enemies down helps, like, because when they're here, they tend to like run into position, like into cover. So you want to try and shoot them as they're running. That way you can knock them down easily, get them, because trying to get them while they're in cover is a lot more harder, I think. This is the first floor nearly done. We just got this little corridor left, which is where the heist planning room is. So you want to get these enemies here. And when you go down the stairs, I recommend switching to the assault shotgun because it's all pretty much close quarters for that floor. Now after that, we've got one last big room to deal with the enemies. So you want to switch to the assault shotgun here. There'll be an enemy that comes up the stairs there, so make sure you get rid of him. And while you're down here, make sure you get rid of the enemy as fast as possible. Now the assault shotgun is really good here, as for magazine size on it, it's really good for this bit. Because it's all close quarters. Once the enemies are dealt with, you need to go down one more floor. And while you're down here, I recommend switching to like the combat MG or something again. And try and not go inside the room. Like try and stay by here, as it's got good cover. Like you don't want to go inside the room as you'll just get destroyed instantly by the enemies, as they're all pretty much all over the place. Like there are some explosives you can hit at the back. You know, blow some stuff up, so that can be helpful as well. If you need it. Once all the enemies are cleared here, you want to take care of the enemies that are on the stairs and get on the gun in the war room to end the mission. So for Act 2, you want to go back to a public session, just like the first heist, and you want to invite everyone to the same company. Once you've done that, you want to buy the heist, which is the second one with a picture of a Stromberg on it. And you want to do all the permissions first, as it just saves a lot of time in the long run, as the loading on this game can be so long, especially in online, even with next gen. Like, there is an improvement in loading to invite to a session, but loading to a public session, for example, still takes forever sometimes. But anyway, so the first mission was the one where we got to steal the news van. So you just want to go there and steal the news van and drive back to the facility. Like, the Sparrow is definitely a great vehicle to have. We're doing the Doomsday Heist, as it's just really handy. As back in the day, people used to use the buzzard before the Presser Mark II came out. We're doing this, but anyway. Also, if someone disconnects in one of these prep missions, you have to quit out, otherwise their progress will be out of sync. So make sure you do that. So I cut out the flying there to save some time, and the driving, as it takes quite a while to fly to the place and drive back. But anyway, so the next mission is the one where we've got to steal the intel from the house. There's a few different locations where the intel can be. However, the first bit involves you taking out enemies, so they're like driving around on the map, like cars and bikes. So you want to get rid of them. The hardest targets to get, I think, are the ones on the BMX bikes. As the missiles on the Sparrow aren't that good. So you need to get out of the Sparrow and just shoot them normally if you miss them. There's quite hard to hit them with the missiles, I think. But anyway, after you get the last enemy, Lester will tell you where to go. So you just want to go there and steal the intel from the house and get back to the facility.
Watch out for any interested parties.
So the next mission, we need to steal the Riot van. This one's pretty easy. It's basically the same as the mission with the news van familiar. There's a few different locations where you need to steal the van. Most of them are in the city, but there is one close by in Sandy Shores area in a caravan park. But we didn't get that one this time, sadly. So when you get to where you need to go, you just want to throw the tear gas on the floor and just start fighting the enemies with your fists. Like, don't take out your weapons, otherwise you'll get more police on you. And just wait until the Riot van gets there, basically, and just drive back to the facility.
Some culo!
Okay, this van might be the only thing that stands in the way of the Russians, or whoever they are, doing what they came here to do.
Okay, now the next mission is the one with the Strombergs. We have to steal 4 Strombergs, put it on the back of lorries. They are all over the map, so you want to split up and go to a location. They'll be all over the map. They'll be marked by like a green icon. And the best way to do that is just to fly to all the locations, and it will tell you if it's real or not. Like, that's the best thing to do in 2 players, just to fly to all of them. If they're real, they will show up as like a blue icon. But if you don't get in it straight away, it won't show up on the map for the other players. So that's another good bonus. Is it's best to find out where all these are first. If you do this in like 2-player, for example, as it'll just like save time in the long run, having to like drive all over the map. And so why the Sparrow is good for this mission as well. It makes things super easy. So you can just fly to all the locations to figure out which ones are real or not. So we cut up the driving there, as the driving on these lobbies are quite slow. So I'm going to cut to us getting the last Stromberg. Also, while we're getting these Strombergs, we're getting griefed by another player, so I had to help protect the other teammates, just so we don't get one of them blown up, for example. Like, if one of them does get blown up, it will say, like, you deliver like 3 out of 4 Strombergs. And if that happens to you, you need to do the mission again. As we got griefed when we were doing 3-player with the Strombergs, but anyway. Luckily, we managed to do it all in one go in 4-player. So here we go. Getting the last Stromberg now, which is good. Means we don't have to deal with any griefers for now, which is great news. As they're super annoying, but anyway. Okay, now the last mission is for torpedoes. After this, we decided to just find a new session because that guy was super annoying. So once you found the torpedoes, you want to start the mission. And for this, you've got to fly out to a barge somewhere in the sea. If some White Sparrows is really good, as you can just fly there straight away. And when you get there, you want to just take out the enemies you see and make your way back to the facility. Okay, now for the setup missions for Act 2. First one is where we got to steal the Avenger from LSIA. So you want to drive down to LSIA in any vehicle you want. Ideally, you don't want to do it on a bike because that's just too risky. You can easily fall off your bike. So when you get there, you want to go on inside, cut out a driving there just to save time, as it still takes a good like 2 minutes or so to get there, even with the terror door. But anyway. So after this brief cutscene, you want to go left straight away. And on your left, you'll see like an orange tanker. You want to go left of that, and you want to kind of follow the mini map as the game goes dark for like a few seconds. But then you want to turn on your night vision, and you want to start taking out the enemies from here. Like this area is quite safe, as there's good cover in this area from like all the enemies, because all the enemies are basically all over the place like this. Some in the middle, bit by the Avenger, and some upstairs as well. So you want to hide out here for a little while to take out a good few of the enemies. Like definitely the combat MG is definitely the best weapon to have for this mission. Or the special carbine if you haven't got that. As you get out level 1 special carbine. So you want to stay as a team, and once you've taken out a good amount of enemies, you want to all go upstairs here, and there'll be some enemies up here, so you want to get rid of them. Also sometimes there will be an enemy in that room on the left there. Like he sometimes walks in there, so you want to keep an eye out for that. So you just want to keep on mopping up the enemies. And this mission isn't really that bad. It's just knowing where the enemies are and using your night vision, I think. That's the main thing really. Like the enemy can spawn behind there, behind that door. It's kind of hard to hit him. So you want to make sure you get everyone just to be safe. So when you're finished with this area, you want to go upstairs again, which I'm doing now once I've healed myself. But yeah, this mission isn't too bad. It's the only hard bit to just turn on the power really, which is what we're doing now. So there'll be some more enemies up there on the far side, so you want to get rid of them. I was lucky that I lost a lot of health there, but anyway. So you want to go upstairs when you've taken out a good amount of enemies. And when I go upstairs, I normally run along here. I don't go up all the way, as that's quite risky, I think. So you want to run down here along this like path here, as the enemies can barely hit you while you're running. Like you want to get to this corner, as it's got good vantage point from like upstairs, so you can like take out the rest of the enemies that are downstairs, which is quite good. Also, while up here, I recommend having the interaction menu open if you've got a combat MG, and just like keep having it open, just in case you like get hit loads, for example. So you want to continue mopping up the enemies just like this, and turn on the power.
Seconds to kick back in. We got juice, baby. Now take the Avenger and bring her in. Get ready for the op. Speak soon.
Okay, now next mission is the one where we've got to rescue ULP from the compound. Now a great vehicle to have for this mission is definitely the half track, with all the half track upgrades such as the quad cannon and the proximity mines. Like, the half track is such a good vehicle for the Doomsday Heist, it's really good. Also the windows at the front are bulletproof, means you can't be shot out of it, but you can get shot out of the side windows, so you'll keep an eye out for that. Okay, now I'm going to cut out the driving here, so when you get to the facility, both teams want to go inside the building. This is because the lookout team normally has to go up on the watchtower, and that's very risky to do that, so they want to go inside a small little room here and stay close to the door. Like, if they go too far into the room, you'll get like a warning saying you've left the area or something. So you want to make sure you stay close to the door. This is because it's really safe in here as there's barely any enemies. Whereas if you do it normally by going on the watchtower, you're just asking for trouble because there's just so many enemies coming after you. So, okay, now for the ground team, you want to go in the building as normal. And the right side entrance that we just came in is the best one to use. And it's because the left side is kind of awkward. It's not very big and it's kind of hard to hit the enemies, but they're behind a bit of cover. In that dip by there. So once you clear out the enemies, you want to make your way upstairs and switch to the assault shotgun. There'll be a few enemies here. You want to get rid of them. Then just past this corner will be another enemy. You want to get rid of him. And just past this will be another enemy. So you want to get him. So when you go up the stairs, there'll be 2 more enemies that spawn. After that, you'll have to get the guy who's got ULP hostage. And when you do that, when you get the guy who's got ULP hostage, a few enemies will spawn in that room where we came inside the building. So the 2 people that are standing there, we want to get rid of them quickly, otherwise they'll just get overwhelmed. So now we've got Agent 14. You want to make your way back down to the compound, to the entrance where we just were. But you want to make sure that you're not too far ahead of ULP, otherwise he won't follow you. Like, you don't want to do what I did here, as it wastes time. As I ran too far away from ULP. As he only follows the host, the heist. So that's nothing to make note of. Also, we end up failing here because I think Agent 14 went the other way as I was close to the other entrance. He decided to go to the other entrance instead. If that happens, if Agent 14 gets taken out, you do not have to quit. As you haven't died yourself, so it's okay to like restart from the checkpoint. In a way, that's a good thing because that means that all the enemies will be taken out, so you'll have like an easier time. Okay, so you want to get Agent 14 and take it back to the half track. Also, another good vehicle to have for this mission is the Night Shark. The reason the armoured crewman isn't that good is because the armour isn't very good on it, and there's a few helicopters that we've got to try and take out while driving. So the Night Shark is really good because you can take loads of rockets with it, as the armour is really good on it. It's really good for free roam as well against the Presser Mark IIs as well. The Night Shark, so. But It's up to you really if you want to invest in any of these vehicles, but they are really good for Half Track and Night Shark for this mission. I got a bit lucky there, so I was a bit low on health. So I'm just healing up here, which is good. Now at this point, we were a bit unsure, like, what was going on, because Agent 14, no, ULP was on the other side of the building. We started to take out enemies here, and it wasn't enough, sadly, as he got taken out eventually. And if this happens, you do not need to quit. You can just continue as normal. So there you go. ULP was taken out. If this happens, you do not need to quit. As you saw there, I was about to quit, but luckily I didn't, as it saved us a lot of time. I'm going to do the first bit of the mission again, which is good. When you're in this menu, you can buy ammo and body armor if you need to. So when you respawn, you just want to drive back to the place where you got to go to the end of the mission. And if you restart at this checkpoint, I recommend that you all get in the Insurgent Pickup Custom, as it can have 5 seats, whereas the Half Track it's only got 3 seats, and Night Shark's only got 4 seats. So the Half Track is only really good for 2 player, as 2 players in ULP can fit in the Half Track. Whereas if you're doing it with like 3 or 4 players, you need to have like 2 vehicles if you have the Half Track. So when you're getting the same vehicle, or whatever mode of transport you have, you want to make your way to the end of the mission. This vehicle is quite good, as it just gives you a free vehicle basically, and we didn't want to risk getting out and getting into the Half Track as the enemies were driving towards us, so we thought it would be best to stay in this vehicle instead.
Escort's back at the agency? Okay, here is ULP. My men will take him from here.
Someone put me on the phone to Rackman.
Okay, now the next mission is the one where we've got to get the hard drives with the RCV van. And the most important role for this mission is the driver, as you can use the Riot van as like a shield when the people in the back are getting hard drives. This means like there's less risk of the player going after the hard drives of dying, as you're basically covering with the van. Like, even though this van is really good in this mission, I wouldn't recommend buying it in free roam, as completely useless in free roam, this vehicle, as the armor in free roam isn't very good compared to the mission. But anyway, so you want to drive to the first place, and when you get to the 4 different areas, you want to extinguish all the hard drives first. This is because they take damage, otherwise they'll blow up and you fail the mission if you don't get all the hard drives. So you want to extinguish the first hard drive just like that, then go over here to the second one. Also, for the players who are on the salvage team, good weapons to use here is definitely the AP pistol or the machine pistol. If you don't have the AP pistol just yet, as you've got to be level 36 to get the AP pistol. You can get the machine pistol at level 1 from ammunition. So once you've finished with this area, you want to get the 2 hard drives and drive to the next area.
There's another bird site.
When you get to the second area, there'll be 3 hard drives here you have to get. So you want to extinguish the first 2 on the left as you go in here, and the last one will be all the way at the back. Like, the salvage team will want to get the one at the back first, as there's barely any enemies there at all. There's only like 1 or 2 enemies there really. So also, if you're doing this with 4 player, I recommend that the other player with the water cannon get out and help him as well on foot, as that can be quite helpful as well. You don't really need 2 operators really when doing 4 player. Like, you can easily still do it with like 1 player using the cannon. But I try to get out to the next area just to help out, as it's quite open and there's loads of enemies there. So also, another thing that helps is that if you have a driver, you want to keep on going forward a bit and reversing while you're taking out the enemies, and it's because they won't hit you as much then. Whereas if you're stationary, there's a risk of you taking a lot of damage very fast. So you want to always do that as well. Like, keep on moving a little bit if you have a driver. So you want to get the rest of the enemies and get the last of these 2 hard drives and get to the next area.
job there. Now move to the other site. If there's a roadblock in your way, go straight through it.
Now we go to war! Fuck, man!
When you get to the third area, there'll be 4 hard drives you have to extinguish and retrieve. So you want to get this one here first, then you want to go by the building and get the hard drive there. Like again, you want to extinguish all the hard drives straight away so that they don't get destroyed. Also, in this area, I like to park the RCV in the alleyway and get out on foot, so I find it's quite helpful to have like one extra person on the ground in this area, as this quite a big open area this area is. If you're doing a 4-player, like the other operator can use the RCV then, if they need to. Also, you want to destroy this fence here. This is because it will make the salvage team's life easier, rather than having to destroy the fence themselves and or run around it, for example. So now that we've extinguished the hard drives, you can park the RCV down here if you want. It's pretty safe to park it down here, as there's barely any enemies at all. I try to get out whenever I do this mission, just to help my teammates out. So you want to park the van down here if you need to. Again, a good weapon here is the Combat MG. It's really good for these Doomsday Heists, especially if you've got all the Mark II attachments from the bunker research. But to get all the bunker research, it costs about $12 million if you fast track everything. Otherwise, it will just take forever to get all the stuff. Otherwise, so if you have loads of money spare on GTA Online, you definitely want to invest in like things that will make your life easier. Like, there's no point wasting your money on like supercars or anything. Like to get anywhere in this game, you have to invest in stuff that will make you more money. If that makes sense. Like all the businesses, for example, and the bunker research as well is really good, helping you out with Doomsday Heist as well. Okay, so while you're getting these hard drives, there will be some night sharks that spawn with some enemies. So you want to make a note of where they spawn and take them out. Also, there'll be a few enemies on the roof here. There's like 2 enemies up here. So you want to get them out as well. You want to take them out. Now that most of the enemies are taken out, they'll all just spawn in the open pretty much. So you can like kind of spawn trap them, which is what I'm doing here, just to make this a breeze. Okay, now that we've got the hard drive, we're free to go to the next area. However, when you get to this bit, there will be a helicopter that will try and follow you, so you can ignore it if you want, or the people in the back can try and shoot down with their pistols while you're driving. I can speed this bit up here just to save for time. Driving this RCV is quite slow. So now everyone's inside the RCV, which is good. Here we go, I'm going to speed this up now. Also, the explosive sniper is good as well for the Doomsday Heists. And it's good when doing piracy prevention on a yacht, for example. Where you can just snipe other players on their boats and helicopters to try and come after your yacht. But anyway. So when you get to this area, you want to go left here because they've blocked the road off ahead of you and it's quite hard to get through. You want to go left here and go through this gap here in the fence. This is a nice shortcut to take, as they can't really shoot you there. You're still going full speed pretty much, like you won't get slowed down at all by taking my shortcut. So when you get to the next area, there'll be 5 more hard drives. And this area is quite good because after you extinguish the last hard drive, the timer will go away. So then you have all the time in the world to get the hard drives from the vans. So you want to get these 2 hard drives here. Then you want to go over here and get these next 2 hard drives. And the last hard drive will be at the back. And we're going to get these hard drives in reverse order. Do we put them out? If that makes sense. Like this bit is pretty fast, as we barely take out hardly any enemies towards the end. As most of them are in the middle bit. Okay, now that we've got all the hard drives gone, the time is gone, so we've got all the time in the world. Like, you don't need to watch out for that big red barrel there. It's behind us, as they don't blow up. So the only thing that's left really is just to get the hard drives. And that'll be the mission done.
disaster for all seriously intelligent life on this planet, my friends. Well averted.
Okay, now the next mission is the one where we've got to use the Strombergs to destroy the convoy and scam stuff in the ocean. In this mission there are two teams. There is the Pleater Cove team, who go to the submarine to scam the stuff and destroy the mines. And the other team is the Pleater Bay team, who go to Pleater Bay to scan the airplane in the ocean. Doesn't really matter which team you're on in this mission, as they're basically the same thing but different locations. So the first part of this mission involves you driving to a convoy. I skipped over the driving there as to speed things up. So once you get to the convoy, you want to use the missiles on the Stromberg. Your first targets will want to be the helicopters, as they can shoot you sometimes if you're not too careful. And the best way to get them is just to try and not go too close to them, otherwise you won't be able to lock onto them. Like, you want to try and keep a distance if possible. Once you've destroyed the helicopters, you want to take care of the convoy and go to where it tells you to go on the map.
We're being paid to destroy the convoy, okay? Hunt them down and kill
Okay, now so after destroying the convoy, you now need to destroy 10 mines that are around the submarine or the plane in the ocean. And this bit is pretty straightforward. It doesn't matter who gets the mines, as long as someone on your team blows them up, you'll be fine. Just make sure you don't drive into the mine, as I'm not sure if it'll blow you up or not. But I know that in the K prequel finale, if you swim into a mine, it doesn't blow you up if you do the finale while swimming. But anyway, so once you've destroyed the mines, you just want to scan the three sections of the submarine or the aeroplane. Again, it doesn't really matter who scans them, as long as you scan all of them, it'll be fine. Once you've scanned all three, you want to make your way to where you got to go. However, before you continue, you want to make sure everyone is near the end of the mission. Otherwise, it can glitch out. Whereas, like, sometimes this end bit will glitch out where I'll keep on telling you need to wait until everyone gets inside the Stromberg. If that happens in this area where you're all parked up, you have to blow up one of the Strombergs and just scam stuff again. Like you can blow up a Stromberg on this mission with like a sticky bomb. As long as you don't blow yourself up, for example, it'll be fine to do that. That way it'll fix the glitch. This mission is super annoying when that glitch happens, where you just can't end the mission when you're all parked here. It'll just keep on telling you someone's got to get in the Strombergs, which is really annoying. Okay, now for the Act 2 finale, there are two teams. There is the Submarine team and the Escort team. Now the Escort team will want to go on the doctease.com website on your phone on GT Online. you want to buy a boat. It's all the way at the bottom for like $22,000. I think it's called a Squallow or something like that. Squallow, but anyway. Now, Submarine team want to buy a helicopter from elitistravel.com on their phone. It'll cost you about $780,000 for like the Maverick, I think it's called. But the reason why you want to get those two vehicles for this mission is it makes it super easy from this location. As you don't want to get the Peter Bay facility, as it makes all the other stuff 10 times harder, especially the freeway missions. Having to drive a Chernobog all the way to Peter Bay is a nightmare. Also, I would avoid anything in Peter Bay really, even like the bunker business, for example. Definitely want to avoid that in Peter Bay. But anyway, okay, now so when you start the mission, you want to phone Pegasus on your phone and call for the Maverick helicopter. Then you want to fly towards the objective.
Okie dokie, set off for your vehicles. Air team, you're going to collect the Avenger tilt-rotor aircraft. Water team, you are using Stromberg. We've done some pretty good work disrupting their activities around the state.
Hello, Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help you? Thank you, sir. Your spectacular aircraft is now ready for you at our nearest airfield.
Okay, folks, here is the plan. The air team provides cover while the water team gains access to codename Bogdon Submarine. Makes contact.
So when you get to this area, instead of going to Avenger, you want to drop the air support team off at the beach here. Once you do that, they want to phone Pegasus on their phone and request their boat that they bought earlier. The reason why you do that, as it basically means you don't need to go to Avenger at all. Like, this has been a glitch since day one really of when Doomsday Heist came out. So everyone used to do back to back just to get loads of money back in the day. But anyway, so the other team, which is the submarine team, they want to get them Stromberg as normal and make your way to the submarine. I'll speed as well, just to save time. Now the people who were on the aircraft team will be in the boat by now, and you want to go into the water whereabouts we are now and just wait there basically until the submarine team are finished, as it basically avoids all the enemies that they will encounter normally if they do this with the Avenger normally. So it's definitely a safe option to do this heist, definitely. So yeah, it's about here they want to wait to make sure you don't get kicked by idling. Just make sure you like move your controller about every so often, just so you don't get kicked. But anyway, after this brief cutscene, you'll be inside the submarine. Once inside, I recommend going in first person mode and with the assault shotgun, as it's just so good for this section, as just all close quarters. I mean, assault shotgun is like the best weapon in the game by far for close quarters. But anyway, there'll be a bunch of enemies down this corridor. You just want to get them and make your way through the submarine to where the prisoner's being held, or the informant I think it is. I've done this mission so many times back in the day when I was grinding money. But anyway, so you want to make your way down here, take out those two enemies and go down the stairs again. And just down here will be another enemy, so make sure you get rid of him. And you want to turn left here and just aim your weapon at the guy there who's standing there. After that, make your way back up to the planning room. Like, this submarine is basically a replica of the Kasatka, but it's way bigger. It's kind of deceiving really, as the Kasatka is definitely not this big as it was shown in the cutscene just then. But anyway, so when you get here, you just want to take a photograph of the table. And after the cutscene, you'll be finished. I'll skip over the cutscene, as you have to watch it every single time we do this mission. So I'll just cut it out here to save time. Also to avoid spoilers. But anyway. So once you're finished with the submarine, you want to get in the boat that the other team have got. So you just want to swim there and just get in the back of the boat and make your way back to the Avenger. Like, you don't want to go to the beach in front of you as there'll be enemies there. You want to go over here to the left and go down here, as it's pretty safe. When you get to the end, you want to take it a bit slower, as on the Xbox version, like on the Xbox One version of GTA 5, sometimes there's a glitch where there's basically like an invisible wall here and you can't go inside the hangar. If that happens, you have to go into single player, to go to creator mode and go back into single player, as I will fix the glitch. Like that's been a thing for like a year or two now, but on the Xbox version. But anyway, like, you want to take it slower just to be safe. I haven't seen it happen to me on the PS5 version yet, but I was helping people on the Xbox version the other day and that glitch happened. But anyway, so when you finish the finale, I'll be Act 2 done. Okay, now for Act 3, you want to go back into a public session, invite everyone to your company. Once you've done that, you want to buy the heist, the Doomsday Scenario, the third one. And just like the Act 2 and Act 1 heists, you want to do all the prep missions first, the missions on the left. But you can't do the last one with the laser, as you can only do that if you've done all the other set of missions before that. Okay, now the first prep mission for Act 3. It's the one where you gotta steal the cash. There'll be a few different locations around the map where you gotta go and get the cash. Cash will be on the floor somewhere, so you just want to go there, steal the cash and drive back to the facility. Also, when you get the cash, you will get a wanted level, so you want to call Lester as well to lose the police faster. Okay, now the next mission is the one where we'll go to the south side of Los Santos, to the shipyard building. We're going to take some photographs of like all the different entrances of the building, as this is where we do the first setup mission for this Act 3. So you just want to fly over to where you got to go, and when you get there, make sure you don't fly the helicopter too close, otherwise they'll know you're there. So you want to like fly a bit close but not too close, and just get out and just run to the building. So when you get there, you simply just need to take photographs of the different entrances. And the best way to tell if the photograph is valid or not is it on the mini-map. The icon will change blue. That means that when you take a photograph, it'll be valid and you can send it to Leicester. So you want to take photographs of all the different entrances and make your way back to the facility. Okay, now the next mission is the one where we got to get the Chernobog. There's a few different locations where it can spawn, just like the other missions. There'll be a different location each time. Now this time we had the one in Pleated Bay, which is pretty close. And when you get there, there'll be a bunch of enemies, so you want to get rid of them. Also, they have like 2 enemies, they have like loads of health, so you want to get rid of them. You want to drive back to the facility. Also, while driving back, I recommend turning on Ghost Organization as the Chernobog is quite slow and it's quite hard to drive. It's very different to all the other vehicles on GTA 5. So yeah, you want to take out enemies and get the Chernobog back to the facility. Okay, now the next mission is the one where you gotta get the flight path data. There'll be a few different locations where you gotta go where there'll be a target who's holding the data. Like, even though the game will tell you to wait for a target to leave the area, you can take him out straight away if you want to. But you will get a 1 level if you do that. It's probably best to just take him out straight away just to save yourself time really when doing this mission. There's a lot of driving to and from the facility for the prep missions, but anyway. So when you get there, you can use the Sparrow to get rid of him if you want, and just pick up the flight path data and make your way back to the facility. Also make sure you call Leicester to lose the cops as well, faster.
What's up, pal? I take it this isn't purely a social call. Of course not. You're in trouble and you need my help. No problem.
Okay, now the next prep mission, the one where we've got to get the test site intel from a house in Freeville. There'll be a few different houses you have to go to, so you want to go there. Also, this is basically the same mission, that mission from Act 2, where you got to steal the stuff from the dealers. But anyway, so you want to make your way to the house. And when you get there, there'll be some enemies outside, so you want to get rid of them with the Sparrow. Or you can use like a armored crewman if you got that. So once all the enemies are dealt with, you want to go inside. And once you're inside, there'll be some more enemies, so you want to get rid of them. Also, because you've done this last premonition for now, as you can't do the one with the laser just yet, you have to do all the other set of missions first. So after this, you want to go into an invite-only session to start doing the set of missions. So once you grab the loot from the box, you want to make your way back to a facility.
And hope they're clones.
Okay, now the next mission we'll be doing is the Rescue Agent 14 mission, where we gotta go to the shipyard and take out all the juggernauts and helicopters that are there. Now the hardest part about this mission is the helicopter, as it's a big risk if you're using the armoured crewman. Like, that's the only risk about using the armoured crewman for this mission is the helicopter, as it will shoot rockets at you. Also, a good vehicle to have for this mission is definitely the armoured crewman and the half-track if you got that. I didn't use the half-track for this mission, as a half-track is not as agile as the crewman for this mission, and it's kind of hard to like navigate the half-track inside the building here, as there's like a risk of like falling in the middle and getting stuck, but you won't be able to get it out. But definitely, if you're doing it with this with like 2 players, definitely recommend the half-track, as it's got 3 seats. So okay, now so when you get to the shipyard, you want to take out the enemies but inside the main bit here. You want to drive around the back and take out the enemies there, as required to get them from here. Now you can get the enemies down there and the enemies that are on the catwalk with the crewman. But try and get the enemies that are all the way to the back from here. It's quite hard, I think, so you want to drive around and get them. Once you're taking up enemies, that's when the juggernauts will spawn. Now the juggernauts are really easy on this mission. I'll show you a good strategy to take them out after we've mopped up the enemies. Okay, so once you've taken out the enemies, you need to make your way to Agent 14. Now, whoever the host of a heist is will spawn on the left side, where Agent 14 is after the cutscene. So you want to make note of that. That's really good to have the Widowmaker minigun from Ammunition, which costs about $400,000. The reason why the weapon's good to get, even though it's expensive, is because you can get like at any level. You don't need to be 120 to get the minigun, for example. And the way to make in the minigun is basically exactly the same thing, basically. So okay, so to get the Juggernauts easy, you want to turn on the Heat Vision and just mop up by here. You want to go in this corner here, as it's quite safe. And because your camera's on the right side, you can like shoot them from around the corner without them really hitting you. So once you've done that, you want to do exactly the same thing with the Juggernauts that spawn on the other side, the 4 Juggernauts here. So you want to mow them down with the minigun just like that. This bit's really easy. It's best for the people who spawn next to Age 14 to take them out. It's kind of hard to hit them if you're on the other side, for example, just because of the camera angle. Okay, now that the Juggernauts are dead, you just want to get the enemies that spawn over helicopters. You want to get them before they go on the ground, just so it's easy. Now, if you're fast enough, you can blow them up with like a home launcher or the explosive sniper with the helicopter. You can blow them up, but I wasn't fast enough to do that here because I was taking things a bit slow. Okay, now that all the aim is dealt with, you want to get back in the armored crewman half track. At this bit, we kind of a bit slow here, taking off a helicopter. As normally it hovers like the front bit of the building, but they didn't do that, so we had to like improvise a little bit. So you want to get back in the Kuma and the half track. Also, when Agent 14 says Hustin, that means the helicopter spawned. So just like that here, when he says that, you wanna like run away with the Kuma and hide and take out the helicopter. And the reason why you want to do that is if the helicopter blows up the crewmate, whoever's crewmate it is will have their progress reset to 0 regardless if you quit or not, as the game gets saved straight away as soon as your personal vehicle gets blown up. So you definitely want to avoid the crewmate getting blown up here. Now get ready to take up a helicopter. We definitely have a half track, as it's really good. It can take loads of rockets before it blows up. Like ideally we should have used one crewmate in the half track here, but we didn't do that sadly. Also, you don't want to get back in the crewmate and drive around. You want to make sure the crewmate is well away from the helicopter, otherwise there's like a risk of him blown up. So yeah, the main priority for this section is the helicopter. After that, the rest of the enemies are really easy to take down, and the 4 Juggernauts that are left are really easy as well, as you can just hide behind a box and take no damage from them, from inside the crewmate. You can basically like head glitch. You can basically head glitch for Juggernauts where you can like shoot with them, but they can't shoot you. It's like that glitch off Call of Duty that everyone used to do back in the day, or like Modern Warfare 2 for example. So we had to like improvise a lot on this bit, as the helicopter is having a mind of its own. See that? I don't know how that didn't kill me. I don't know how, but anyway. So yeah, best weapon to take him out on foot is definitely the home launcher and the explosive sniper. If you go that, it will take 2 explosive sniper shots to take out a helicopter. Now that the helicopter is dealt with, the rest of this mission is super straightforward. So while you're mopping out enemies, you wanna be aware of like explosives that are like all over the place, like there for example. Like you wanna blow that up straight away just so it's safe really. As you don't want your armored crewmate getting blown up for example. It's best to take things slow and blow up all the explosives that are in your way before you get nearby. As it's just less risk of like stuff going wrong for example. Okay, now that the games are dealt with, there'll be some more juggernauts. Now these juggernauts are really easy to take out. So where you can like basically hide behind the box and just shoot them from behind the box. The reason why this is safe is because the engine of the car isn't exposed to the enemy, so you can't blow up fast at all. You can easily shoot them with your AP pistol or machine pistol from inside the Courier. Those are definitely the best weapons to use for this bit. Or the mini SMG as well, that's another good option if you got that. Those 3 weapons are definitely the best, as they're all fully automatic pistols basically that you can use from inside the car. Okay, now there's 2 more juggernauts left, and the best way to take them out is just to hide behind this box here. This out on the road. You can like head glitch for juggernauts where you can like shoot them but they can't shoot you. Once you've done that, you want to get the rest of the enemies that are on foot and fly to the end. We had a bit of trouble finding Agent 14 when we got rid of the enemies as he walked off somewhere. We had to like find him. It took us like a minute or 2 to find him, but anyway, once all the enemies are dealt with, you want to make your way back to the objective and you'll complete this mission.
Thanks for the ride! Be good, okay?
Okay, now the next mission is the one where we've got to rescue ULP and escort him while he's flying his helicopter. A great vehicle to have this mission is the Courier, for the first bit at least. If you're doing this with 4-player, you can use the half track. I wouldn't really use a Courier if you're doing it with 4-player, as there's like a risk of you being near like a car when it blows up. You definitely don't want that to happen, as that would just reset your progress straight away if you're inside like a personal vehicle and you get blown up. Definitely want to avoid that. Okay, so I'll cut out the drive mirror to save some time, but basically when you get to this area there'll be a bunch of enemies here, like the team who got on the Courier to come out mainly before we got here, so that was good. I decided to let the players on the Courier use the Chernobog, as they needed to do 2-player, so it's best to help them get some experience with the Chernobog. Like the players on the Chernobog are like well protected, as they're quite high up. You can hardly be shot out of it even though you're stationary. It's quite hard to get shot out of the Chernobog. As the armor on is pretty good against like small arms fire and things like that, and an explosive for this mission as well. But the armor on it on free roam is not good at all, as it burns from one rocket. But anyway, that's the thing with these missions, they try and make them like super OP in the mission, and in free roam when you go to actually buy the vehicle it's like super weak. But anyway, so this next bit of the mission basically involves you having to blow up the helicopters that are around ULP. Also, if ULP gets taken out, like if this helicopter gets destroyed, you do not need to quit, as you haven't died yourself. As I was doing this with 2-player on the Xbox version last year, helping a friend do 2-player Mastermind, we had ULP get taken out by like a helicopter that got blown up. We didn't quit then, and the progress didn't get reset, so you do not need to quit if that happens. You only need to quit if you die yourself. Okay, so this next bit of mission is pretty easy, but it does take quite a while to do, as ULP flies so slowly in this mission. So you just want to keep on blowing the helicopters that are around him. If you don't do that, eventually he will get blown up, so you have to restart checkpoint again. And the only checkpoint in this mission is like the start of this bit now. Like you have to do the whole thing again if you get towards the end, basically. Okay, so the people in the Chernobog can only fire the Chernobog while they're stationary. While they're stationary, the driver has to hold right on the D-pad to activate the rockets. Then the guy in the back will have to lock onto the helicopter and shoot the rockets. It only takes one rocket to blow up a helicopter during this mission. And the other players in like the half track or the Courier, like you can use the Courier for this mission, but I wouldn't risk it. As if you're like near like a vehicle and it gets blown up, it might blow up the Courier, and whoever's Courier it is will get their progress reset as the game gets saved straight away. Also, you can steal a jet from Fort Zancudo, but I wouldn't recommend that unless you're good at flying, as the jet can get shot down quite easily, and it smokes quite easily as well. I did that when helping these guys with free play, for example, where I stole a jet. As half track is pretty useless with only one player in it, but it is good for like free roam, for example, as the windows at the front of half track are bulletproof, so you can't get shot out of it, but you can get shot out of the side windows. That's like the only risk really for half track is the side windows, as the driver can get shot out of it. Also, if you got the research for the half track, like the quad gun and the proximity mine is good as well. Like the quad gun is really good, as basically wherever the gunner is shooting, they are protected from the front, like they can't get shot out at all, like they're only exposed from the back, so you want to make a note of that as well. So apart from that, the rest of this mission is pretty straightforward. You just want to take out as many helicopters as you can and escort ULP to the end. Okay, now the next mission involves us stealing a barrage from the cargo bob. It's by the observatory. So you want to drive over there. I could have a driver here just to save time. But this mission, I recommend using a crewman, as there isn't really that many explosives. They're like nearby. Like, there are explosives at the airfield we go to, but you can easily blow them up from a distance. Like, there isn't any like helicopters with rockets, for example, that blow you up on this mission. So you're pretty safe in that regard. So when you get to the place, everyone in this mission will have a explosive sniper, which is pretty good. When you get here, you want to target the Valkyrie helicopters that spawn first. Like, you don't want to go after the cargo bob straight away, otherwise the barrage will be miles away. You have to drive all the way down to it. Like, you want to let it get close to you, so that when you blow it up, it sits you right next to you, basically. Okay, so each Valkyrie helicopter will take 2 explosive sniper shots to blow up. You can use the home launcher if you need to, if you prefer that. Over all the Valkyrie helicopters dead, you want to focus fire on the cargo bob. Once the cargo bob is taken down, you want to have one player drive to the barrage, to the airfield, and all the others use the Courier. Reason being you want to do that is because if you flip the barrage over with everyone inside it, like the players who are on like the machine gun and grenade turret will get flung out the vehicle. You definitely want to avoid that. Okay, so once you've destroyed all the helicopters, you want to get in the barrage and make your way to the airfield where the facility is. I'll show you a cool path that you can take, which pretty much avoids all the enemies, as you barely encounter any enemies at all while off-road. Like, it's best to go off-road this next section, just so the enemies don't like try and drive off-road. Also, you're quite exposed when driving the barrage. Like, there's very little protection when driving this thing, so you definitely want to have your interaction menu open with like the armor, for example, when driving this, just in case you get overwhelmed. So this path is really good, as there's very little vehicles. Also, this path is from that mission where you play as Trevor in single player, where you blow up an airplane with like a rocket from like a van or something. I can't exactly remember, but that's the mission this path is from. Hopefully your driving's a bit better than mine there. But anyway, so yeah, you want to make your way to the airfield. When you get there, you want to take out the airplane straight away, just so you don't have to take it out while it's trying to fly.
You need to. Airfield is of high strategic importance to Clifford master plan. We take a hold. If Clifford want airfield, we want airfield. They don't let us win easy. One army will attack. Be on the outlook. You heard the man. Take the runway. Avon storing vehicles and supplies on the airfield. They've all got to go.
Once you get back to the airfield, you want to take out the airplane straight away. This is so it makes things a bit easier, rather than you have to deal with it when you get nearby. Also, you can snipe the vehicles from this distance as well when they spawn, if you got ammo for the explosive sniper still. Like, I definitely wouldn't recommend driving towards the airfield with the barrage. Like, you can drive it forward to trigger the enemies to spawn, but anything further than that, I wouldn't recommend driving forward with this thing. There's just no protection in it at all, basically. Like, definitely better to use the Courier here. Okay, so when you get to this point, there'll be one Valkyrie helicopter that spawns, so you want to get rid of that. Now all of you want to get inside the Courier and take out the rest of the enemies that are nearby. Also, in this area, there will be some yellow barrels. They will blow up if you shoot them enough. You definitely want to make sure you're a good distance away from those, just in case, as you don't want to get the Courier blown up. Otherwise, wherever's Courier it is, we'll get the progress reset. But the one good thing is that these explosive barrels are like nearby vehicles, so It'll take out a few enemies, which is good when they get destroyed. So yeah, you just want to mop up this area and just drive to the end of the mission. Also, there will be one more Valkyrie that spawns, so I recommend you take out before you start driving to the end, as we forgot about that we did when we were doing this. So yeah, you just want to mop up this area and drive to the end. Okay, now the next mission involves us stealing the Khanjali from the desert and blowing up a bunch of stuff. So you want to drive to the area where you gotta go. Like this mission, you definitely want to use the Courier just to take out all the enemies that are like outside, things like that. So cut out the driving here just to save some time. So when you get here, instead of blowing up all the stuff straight away, you want to get rid of all the enemies first, just so it's safe. You don't want to get taken out this late into the mastermind. So yeah, you just want to take out all the enemies from inside the Courier. Best weapons to use are definitely the AP pistol or machine pistol. If you got those, they're like the best weapons to use when like a Courier, for example. Now the last bit of this mission is pretty easy, as there's a way to despawn the hunters that normally spawn. Because if you do this mission normally, where everyone gets in the Khanjali at the end, where you gotta drive to the end, like there'll be some helicopters that spawn. There's a way to like avoid those from spawning if everyone doesn't get inside the Khanjali. So you definitely want to do that, as it'll make your life a lot easier. Take down the hunters as well. So yeah, you just want to get rid of the enemies, then take out all the equipment in the area and get in the Khanjali. So once you deal with the enemies, you want to have at least one player get in a tank. Like the other players, if you're doing it with like 4 players, you can have like 3 people in the tank if you want, and use the different weapons on it. And the other guy will want to use the Courier. And it's best to do this as it avoids the hunters from spawning, as they shoot rockets at you. Like you definitely want to avoid this if you're driving a Courier, for example, as there's just more risk really of dying and your progress being reset if the Courier gets blown up. Now if you're driving a Courier, I recommend driving all the way to the end, just to avoid the enemies, as they don't come after you when you get to the end bit, and it's just better chance really of not dying. That's why you want to do it this way. Now the end bit of the mission is by Fort Zancudo, so you just want to follow this road all the way to Fort Zancudo and to the end of the mission. Okay, we're now on to the last prep mission. So you're going to go back into a public session and invite everyone to your organisation, or VIP. And this mission basically involves having to take down an enemy jet and get the computer from it. Now the best way to do this mission, I think, if you're like a low level and don't have much like aircraft, is to go to Fort Zancudo and steal a jet. Now if you're part of a CEO, you can use the bribe authorities option, where you don't get any police on you. Or you can call Lester and use the cops turn the blind eye option. You can do that as well. If you've got a hangar in Fort Zancudo, you won't get any police on you at all when you go in Fort Zancudo. That's another good option if you've got that. Okay, so when you get the jet, you want to fly to where the jet's flying around. Like sometimes they'll be in Plata Bay, other times they'll be like near Los Santos. So you just want to go there. And when you get there, you want to shoot the jet with the explosive cannons. Once the symbol of the jet turns blue on the radar, that means it's taken enough damage. So now all you need to do is just wait until the jet crashes into the water. Once it's crashed into the water, you want to swim after it and pick up the computer from where it crashed. After this, you want to go back to the facility to end the mission. Once you're back at the facility, you want to go back into an invite-only session to start the last setup mission. Okay, now this next mission involves us taking down all the SAM turrets for the around Mount Chiliad with the aeroplane. Now there are 12 SAM turrets to take down total. However, you can do this mission with like the Pterodil or the Insurgent Pickup Custom or Half Track. Now, you can do it that way, but it takes forever to do that way as they don't appear on the map for SAM turrets if you drive to Mount Chiliad in like a car or something. Also, they will shoot at you if you do this on foot, so you want to have like an armoured vehicle if you do it that way, but I definitely recommend that you do it with the airplane, as it's a lot faster. Okay, so if you do this with four players, there'll be one player flying, one player in like the bomb hold who drop the bombs, and the two other players will be on two turrets. And this mission is definitely a lot easier to do when you're doing 2-player mastermind, as the pilot can just drop the bombs whenever they want. Like if you're doing this with 4 players, you have to communicate as to when each drop the bombs. Also, you want to try and like fly as low as possible to the mountain. That way, it'll make the bombs a lot easier to drop. Also, you won't need to like drop them as early if you're closer, if that makes sense. As will save a lot of time if you do that. Also, another thing to make note of is at some point in this mission there'll be 2 airplanes that spawn and they'll try and shoot you down, so you want to like try and blow them up with the turrets, for example. As they're just annoying really, those airplanes that follow you. But anyway, that's all this mission is really, just taking down the SAM turrets. Once you take down all the SAM turrets, you want to make your way back to the hangar to end the mission.
You did good. Very good.
Okay, we're now on to the Act 3 finale. In order to get really challenged for this, we need to complete the mission in under 30 minutes, get 150 headshots, don't fill any hacks, and no one get wasted. It definitely is possible to do this with 4-player, but when you're doing 4-player Mastermind on hard difficulty, it was absolutely brilliant that we managed to do all the league challenges on hard, as it basically saves us having to do the whole Doomsday game. It takes about 3 hours or 6 hours to do. But anyway, okay, so if it's Salvage Heist, you just want to drive to where the vehicles are. You definitely want to take for Khanjali, as it'll make the first bit of the mission a lot easier rather than using the Barrage. I'm gonna speed over driving here, as it takes quite a while to get there, even when driving for Khanjali, as it's quite slow. So yeah, you definitely want to take the Khanjali. Also, for this mission, you definitely want to have like the minigun or the Widowmaker, bit of Juggernauts for the encounter inside. And it's really good. Also, the combat MG is like the best weapon to use for this heist as well. Over special carbine, like those weapons are really good when doing the Doomsday Heist. So yeah. I'm going to speed up the driving here just to save some time. There we go. Okay, so once you get inside, you'll encounter like some enemies and like some insurgent pickup customs. You just want to blow them up with the Khanjali and keep on driving forward. I'll speed this bit up as well, as it still takes quite a while to get there. Like, because this bit's really easy to do, as you're just driving into the compound basically. So you just want to use the main cannon and the machine gun on the tank. The grenade launcher turrets aren't that good. They take quite a while to blow up stuff with them, so just make sure you don't get like caught on like the wall there, for example, as it can waste a bit of time. But anyway, you still managed to do it regardless, which is good. Okay, now we're now coming up to the first bit of the mission. When you get to here, you'll encounter 4 Juggernauts. Just make sure you don't get out of the tank straight away. Just make sure you blow them up with the tank, as it'll make it like a million times easier rather than to deal with them normally. This is why you don't want to use the Barrage, as you'll just get destroyed instantly with the Juggernauts there. Like they got no chance against the tank basically, for Juggernauts. So okay, now in this area, you want to stay as a team really. That's the main good strategy for this mission, is just to stay as a team and don't split up. Even when doing 2-player, you want to stay together. Okay, so in this area there'll be a few enemies. We already dealt with them, which is good. There'll be a few enemies around here, so make sure you go to them. Now just past this corridor there'll be 1 Juggernaut, so make sure you use the Widowmaker or the minigun to deal with him. The Widowmaker is really good against the Juggernauts, as it just destroys them straight away pretty much. Like, you can use like a grenade launcher if you want, but it's kind of hard to hit it with the launcher, I think. Okay, now this next bit involves us having to shoot some boxes, look for supplies in them. You can just use like any weapon to blow them up. You don't need to use like a sticky bomb or anything, you just shoot it and it will blow up. So, like, even though in this area the game tells you to split up, you do not want to split up. You want to stay together and go the right path first, as that's where most of the boxes are. And there's a bunch of enemies in here as well. Like, the reason why you don't do this, stay together, is because like, sometimes enemies might try and get behind you, and then you'll be like exposed then. So in this area there'll be a few boxes and some enemies, so we're just mopping up those now. The combat MG is really good for this mission, especially if you've got like all the bunker research completed as well. As that's what I was doing before I started doing the Doomsday Heist, was just grinding money to buy stuff to make things easier in the long run. Okay, now this bit of cover, you can shoot the enemies from behind it. You basically head glitching the enemies like from Call of Duty, for example. And sometimes there'll be an enemy behind there. Now you want to go down this corridor here and take out the two enemies here, but you don't want to run down this corridor, because if you go all the way down in, that's where the two juggernauts are. They're left in this area. So ideally you want to go all the way back the way you came and go down the left path this time. That way there'll be like less risk of enemies ambushing you from behind, getting overwhelmed. So you definitely want to run back this way, just so it's a lot easier. I've always done this mission this way, and it's so much easier than splitting up, for example, as there's like more risk of dying if you split up. So that's another box. Now we've got one more box left, and it's along this corridor here, about halfway down. So when you get here, there'll be a few enemies here, so you want to get rid of them. And again, we're just making light work of the enemies, because we all got decent weapons, but anyway. Also, for this bit, I try and avoid using like snacks and armor if possible, as you'll need it for the next area, as it's just hectic for the next area when you go do the hacking. But anyway, okay, that's where the last supply box is. And just after this, there'll be like a catwalk with some enemies on it, so you want to get rid of the enemies there. Also, there'll be two juggernaut enemies in this area. You want to go to the left side and like shoot him with the Widowmaker or the minigun. It's quite safe, and it can't hit you. If you shoot the juggernauts from this area here, they can't hit you at all, as you basically just shooting them from around the corner basically, and they can't shoot you at all. Like, you definitely don't want to go any closer, as they'll just melt you otherwise with their minigun. So the Widowmaker is definitely the best weapon to use, or the minigun if you got that. One downside to the Widowmaker is it's like $400,000. I can't remember how much the minigun is, as I'm not level 120 yet, as I only recently got to level 100. I got a bit lucky here. I was quite low on health, and luckily I didn't die there. So you definitely want to make sure I have a good amount of health before like engaging with enemies as well. Like, you don't want to take risks, as this mission is quite long to do. Okay, now this last bit, there's a few enemies here, so you want to get rid of them just like this. Like, these enemies are quite hard to hit, especially the guy who's hiding behind that box on the right side. Okay, now after this cutscene, we'll go into the next area, where we got to do the hacking.
I hacked into that door. That door is shut. You'll not open that door.
You won't! Wait, this door or the one in the back?
This person is very annoying. I hope he dies in the nuclear blast, Avon.
Don't worry, Clifford. Everyone will.
Missile protocol initiated. Only seconds to apocalypse.
Just a second. This door? You did not hack it. You never even opened it.
I could hack it.
Prove it. Open it.
I can prove it anytime I like.
No, Clifford!
Voila.
Your AI is vain and insecure. I wonder where he gets that from.
So after the cutscene, we'll have 20 minutes where we've got to hack the 4 different servers, stop the missiles from taking off. So when you get to this area, you don't want to go outside this room just yet, as there's loads of enemies here, so you want to take them out straight away before you go outside. However, there are a few enemies on the right side which are kind of hard to get from this room, so you want to go outside and take care of them, as the wall's in the way. So in total there are 4 servers to hack. However, there are like 15 different puzzles or so that you can get. Like, it'll be random each time which puzzle you get. And there's a great video on YouTube made by Jimbatron, who shows all the different puzzles you can get. I definitely recommend watching that. If you're a bit unsure about like how to do the puzzles, I'll leave that in the description. Okay, so once you've finished mopping up the enemies, you want to go left here, as this is where the first puzzle is, first server. Also, you don't want to like go in the middle area in this section. You want to stay on the outskirts, as there's way less enemies around here, as most of them spawn in the middle area. Now for players who are defending the players hacking, we want to get in cover in the corner, and I'll show you that briefly after this. So while you're hacking the server, the player can't take any damage. And this is why you want to keep your armor stacks if you're the player who's hacking over servers. As when you finish hacking, you're kind of exposed like a second or two, where you're just stuck in like a animation. So that's definitely why you want to use your armor stacks. As I got quite low health like a few times I think when hacking. Also, you can destroy like one or two of the red boxes to make sure you don't destroy 3 boxes. Otherwise you fail the hack then, and you'll have to restart the heist if you're doing the elite challenge. Sometimes it's better to just destroy one of the red boxes, as it'll make it a bit faster. For example, as you saw there, it saved us like 5 seconds or so. But anyway, right, now that we've done the first hack, you need to make your way to the second hack, which is on the other side of the room. So while doing this, you want to go as a team. You don't want to like have like 2 people in one half of the room and 2 people in the other. Like ideally you want to have like everyone stick together, as the other players can have health regeneration if they're close to the host of a heist, if they've got a CEO business, for example. That's another great benefit of having a CEO office for the Doomsday Heist, is that your associates have health regeneration, which is really good. So yeah, when going to the different servers, you want to go on the outskirts of the boom, and don't go in the middle area. And also, you want to keep an eye on the mini-map. You want to go in the direction of where there's the least amount of enemies, just so it makes things easier. Now, you saw where I ran there just briefly. That's where the other players need to go. In each corner of the map, there's like that bit of cover there. So you want to go there and take cover and shoot the enemies from there. So you want to continue this process until you've finished hacking the 4 servers, and after that you need to use the orbital cannon.
Son of a bitch!
Concentrate! There you go! Authenticated! Almost. There's
Now that you've done the 4 hacks on the servers, the enemies will stop spawning and the timer will go away. So you want to get rid of the rest of the enemies that are left and make your way upstairs to where the orbital cannon is. Now this area is kind of like a maze, this building, so the best way to get upstairs I think is just to go to the middle bit and use the stairs there. That will just make things a lot easier. So you can see there we got the last enemy, which is good. Now we're making our way upstairs. Once you get upstairs you want to go to a separate terminal to use an orbital cannon. Like if you're doing this for 4 players, you need to get like 4 different terminals. Like you can have 1 player destroy all of them if you want, but it's way faster if you all destroy 1 of the targets. Like if you're doing this for 4 player, you want to pick 1 target each. I'm going to speed this bit up as it takes quite a while to get to the targets with the orbital cannon. That's just us going across the map basically. See there's the first target down, which is good. We have teammates again the other targets as we speak, which is good. Now we're done with this area. After this you need to go back downstairs. I recommend going back downstairs in the middle, as this place is kind of like a maze really. It's kind of hard to find a way down sometimes. Also make sure you don't drop all the way down, otherwise you will get eliminated if you do that. Like there is like a little jump you can do. It'll be on one of the set of stairs that we went up a bit earlier on, like these stairs for example. Like you can jump down these fine, but you can't like jump down the other way if that makes sense. So once here you want to wait for everyone to get here. Again, this place is like a maze really. It's just so confusing trying to navigate this area. Just trying out my teammates here, just try and show them where to go. And this last bit is pretty easy as well. And it's all just close quarters stuff really. You definitely want to use like the assault shotgun and the combat MG for this part. Okay, everyone's here now, which is good. Okay, now in this last area there'll be like this small room here first, so you want to get the enemies in here first. Choose the combat MG here in the special carbine to get rid of him. Okay, now in this next area there'll be a bunch of corridors. I recommend have like 1 person go up ahead, like don't have like everyone try and go in all at once, because it'll just get like too claustrophobic and you won't be able to aim as much. So you want to go like in single file if that makes sense. Also you want to watch out because in some of these corridors they're like explosive boxes, so you definitely want to try and blow those up if you can.
AIs everywhere. No, he's too into IP for that. Anyway, stop him! Avon is on the run with the last Clifford drive around his neck. Get him! We've come this far. We can't miss out on the payday. Stop that geek with a makeover now!
You can't stop progress, you fools! I'm the future! I'm a tidal wave of tsunamis! I cannot be stopped! Clifford cannot be stopped!
Get in those silly jetpacks and chase that little snot!
So once you're outside you'll be flying the thruster, and the main priority for this bit is to try and go after Avon as fast as possible. Like you can shoot the helicopters if you want, like you can get like a few hits on them, but I wouldn't really recommend trying and take out the helicopters, as they'll ignore you when you take down Avon. So you definitely want to get rid of Avon as fast as possible, ideally. So you want to use the rockets to take down Avon, like the homing rockets on the thruster. Once you do that, you want to fly to the observatory, and that'll be the mastermind completed. When you get to the observatory, just make sure you put your landing gear back down, just so you can land the thruster. Also, make sure you take your time with landing, just to be safe. I just don't want to like flip the thruster over, for example. But anyway, big thank you to the players I've been playing with, as we all managed to do the mastermind in the end, which is good. Now this video has helped out, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.
Not so fast. Government property. We'll need them back. But there wouldn't be a government or any government property if it wasn't for us. Just come to the observatory, okay? Boy, oh boy. How about that? You know, I thought this would be a nice little change of pace from meat and potatoes heist work, but spying? Yeah, it ain't for me. You know, I'll save the supervillains for the superheroes and concentrate on the super vaults. Thank you very much. Hey, can we all just make a promise? Okay, from now on, we're just gonna be bad guys. Or at least the worst guys and girls in the room, because being a good guy, just too much baggage. There you are. Bring them in, bring them in. Land those puppies. Okay, is that all the thrusters? Good. There'll be a copy of Clifford somewhere, right? Or a beta, repackaged, stripped for assets. He'll come back. But we did good today.
Thank you, people. Now, when you see the boss, can you let her know that this was all my master plan and I should get a promotion?
No. We should have let you fry.
You let me fry?
Oh, shut up!
Mr. Crest.
Mr. Crest, the government owes you a big apology. Oh, and we're also gonna expunge all those charges on your record.
No, not exactly. Clifford?
Oh, Clifford. It's gonna be like he never existed. He'll probably be turned into call center software or GPS for skateboards.
Thank you. All of you. The world owes you a massive favor.
Oh, well, we like cash.
Understood?
Oh, and those were all innocent mistakes, so let's just make sure the record says that. Thank you.
There will be no record. 14,
Mrs. Rackman?
you brought Avon Hertz into the government.
And these guys. And these guys.
If I can, I will fire you.
I'm protected class.
Yes, moronic. Now all of you get out of here. Let's all pretend this never happened. Mr. Crest, we'll send you the money.
Thank you. Well, that is just about enough apocalypse excitement for me. And here I was, thinking I could indulge in a little light larceny, you know. I gotta go lie down someplace quiet and think about happy thoughts and simpler times. You know, back when I only had to worry about feeling lonely because girls didn't like me, you know, like, even though I hated it at the time, I actually really miss high school. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I do. Well, this has been horrifying. Really, really horrifying, but also pretty fun. So, bye-bye.